You're live, John.
Welcome to the Phoenix International Raceway for yet another round of great Xfinity racing here. We're going to set the top 5 here for you real quick. It's Steve Baker, Chris Medford, Chris Berg, Dustin Ping, and Brian Snare. We are 22 laps in, and due to some technical difficulties, we're joining a little late here, so we do apologize to everybody out there, but we are up and we are running now. It's been an entertaining race so far on a really difficult track for these guys to run on. You've got two different ends of the track that actively try to wreck you every time you go through there. You got to drive them different. You got to do different things both with the wheel, with your feet. Makes it a lot of fun to drive, and these guys are putting on a heck of a show. We had one caution early, a little bit of trouble coming off of turn 2. Other than that, we've been clean green, and I want to welcome Andy Piercefield into the booth here. Andy, here we are in Phoenix.
Yes, we are. Wow, we had some trouble. We had a small fire down there in the trailer.
Andy may still be working through his technical difficulties here.
Yeah, I'm here, John. I was down. We had a little fire down there in the trailer. Had to get that put out and get the broadcast back up here. We're using some improvisation, but we're up and we're running, so we're good to go now.
At least somebody wasn't up on Rattlesnake Hill and got a snake bite in the emergency room, all that kind of good stuff. So, yep, we are here. We're up and going, and I can tell you the top 5 right now have been really close all the way through. You've got about a second and a half separating the top 5. Like I said, Steve Baker is leading Chris Medford by about a quarter of a second right now, and now they are starting to get into lap traffic. And, Andy, that's where things get real interesting here. The closing rate can be really quick, and these corners are a handful.
What?
Trading paints.
It ain't on?
Nope.
How do I get to it with the race in the middle?
As the leaders continue to work 3 and 4, come across the start finish line just now. And let me walk you through what I mean by a couple corners being a little bit different. Down here in 1 and 2, where they're going from, you really get out of the throttle and you let the car roll a long time, and you've got to be so patient. But then when you get back into the throttle, well, if you get into it too much, you lose the back. If you're too high on the track and get into it, you want to push out against the wall. All kinds of issues coming out of 1 and 2 there. It is very, very difficult. These guys will have their hands full, especially after pit stops. When the tires aren't up to temperature, that back end does not want to plant down there for the first lap or 2.
I just did it live.
As you see the leaders now exit turn number 2. This sets up to turn 3, and this is where you got to really be careful with tire wear. You really want to lift early about where that third cone on the wall is. Let the car coast and then get into the brake maybe where that second cone is. And, if you overdrive it up the track, you go, or if you set yourself up bad, you can get yourself loose on corner exit. I ran a few laps here during their practice session, and I can tell you, Andy, tire wear is most definitely going to be an issue. If you overdrive these corners, you're going to chew up that right front. And if you start chewing up that right front and get it worn out, you're going to go into these corners, turn your wheel, and that nose of that car is going to go right out to the outside wall. So these guys have to be fast, but be patient. And sometimes, Andy, that doesn't really, that's not a good combo.
No, definitely not. As you see, our top 3 are running a little breakaway right now. They're pulling out ahead. They've got about a second lead on the 4th place car. Next thing that's going to be coming up is we are gaining on some lap cars. It's gonna change the face of this race up front once they start coming up on the back markers.
Yeah, it is. And as one of the faster cars, you got to look at where these guys are running and start to anticipate where they're going to go. So when you get to them, you can get around them as quickly as possible. And, and the lap guys have to understand too, okay, if they're coming, you got to get out of the way. And, if they don't, that's where your anticipation comes into, okay, they're going to stay in the line they've been running. Here's where I'm going to get around them. And, but when you got guys running side by side like these next two, and look at Baker, he's going to split them. He does so
nice
successfully.
Move. Yeah, nice move down there into 3 and 4, we just went by a couple of the back markers. I see Cody Early's in there. I see Gary Ragland's in there. Those guys are, they're racing for position too. And the leaders have just got to work their way through there. Looks like Steve Baker's chopping through there the best right now. Chris Mefford's coming right behind him.
Yeah, and I talk about the leaders having a strategy too. Well, if you're one of those lap guys and you're fighting for position there, you can anticipate maybe we're letting maybe one of those leaders get by and get right on his back bumper and then drive around the person you're fighting too. So lap traffic can actually use the faster guys as a strategy to make passes too. But there's got to be a lot of trust, a lot of give and take out on the track between the faster guys and the guys that are maybe just a little bit off the pace so far.
Yeah, Mefford and Berg have pulled right back up on Baker. They've tightened that up. Let's take a quick little rundown here. We got Steve Baker, Chris Mefford, and Chris Berg. And then we got Dustin Ping, Brian Snare, and Jeff Stiles running 4th through 6th. Then we got Nathan Bishop, Brian Littleton, and Craig Lerman, and then Brandon Mefford. That's your top 10 as they run right now.
Yeah, Andy, a lot of familiar names that we've seen through the first couple of weeks up front there. So the cream seems to be rising to the top here once again at this track. This is the original Roval, before they, turned out for Charlotte and some of these other road course oval hybrids. This is the original oval here, and of course, so we just went through a track change here. The front stretch is now the back stretch. The dog leg is now the front straight kind of, front dog leg, I guess. And we have a caution.
Yep, we got Gary Ragland had an issue there. Better bring out the Willis Landscaping caution flag. Let's Oh, it looked like he might have cut down a tire there, John.
That's what it really looks like, but I'm going back a lap before. He was off the pace, even through turns 1 and 2, before he got to 3 and 4. I don't know if he had hit a wall or, it's possible here they might have cut a tire down. I can tell you, here on iRacing with this tire model, if you overextend it and get down to a certain tire wear limit, it basically reacts like a blown tire. All of a sudden, you turn the wheel, the car goes straight. So that is a thing here. We can only speculate here, but that's what it sure did look like. And it goes back to taking care of your tires. If you don't do that, overdrive the corners, you're going to be in a world of hurt in about 25, 30 laps.
Yeah, it looks like all the leaders have come down on pit road. Baker's going to be the first one coming out. Mefford, Berg, yep, they're holding steady there. Some good pit stops. Everybody's getting in and out in pretty good shape, looks like. Got some strategy taking place back in there. We have some guys making some big moves right now.
Also, Andy, if you shared your screen in here, we could probably even bring Travis in here because then he can see what's going on and he can comment because we've got everybody up in the booth here tonight.
Send me your code and I can get logged in.
Code to what?
Your email has a code for me to change your password. Then I can do the race and I can jump in.
All right. Which email?
AV Blue.
All right, we're going to need these to cycle around so we can figure out where we're at with everybody, but I do see a lot of guys moving a long ways up. Roy Hyde, he's up 19 spots. I'm not sure Brandon Mefford's pitted, so we've got some different strategies going on out there.
Boys, worn as those tires, I don't know if I would have not pitted here. That he's going to be at a big disadvantage if that's what he did.
All right, you ready, Travis?
Yep.
Small J, 6, capital A, capital Z, capital J, capital Z, small O, capital W, small f, small I. All right, we're getting them lined back up here for a restart.
Yeah, and Andy, this is where they got to be really careful too, because the tires are fresh. When they go down here into turn 1, and especially on the exit of turn 2, these cars, the back ends are not going to stick. They're going to have to really be careful on their throttle, and manage it without, if you get too hard into the throttle, you will loop these cars around.
All right, they're coming around to the Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone. They'll fire off on Steve Baker's go.
Guys really giving each other room down through here through 1 and 2 as they come down the backstretch now. Oh, another caution.
See if we can see what happened here to bring out our second Willis Landscaping caution flag.
Yeah, it appears the 57 and the 38 of Damon Cox and Derek Robinson just touched a little bit coming out of turn 4, and man, that sent Damon into the wall really hard on the entrance, inside wall at the entrance there to turn 1.
Yeah, when he come up through that dog leg, he was cutting the corner and came up into him.
Yeah, and this will be a good time to remind everybody who's seeing that, you go down, you think of places like Talladega, Daytona, and that yellow line, you're not allowed to go through there. Even the Cup race today at Atlanta, they didn't allow the guys to go below that yellow line. Well, here at Phoenix, you can go all the way down to that inside wall through that dog leg there. That yellow line is merely a suggestion. It's not a rule.
You don't know who they are, though, buddy.
The drivers?
Yeah. We're okay.
It won't let me log in as UB.
Yeah.
Because you
We're okay.
went in as so.
Yep, we're okay. All right, I'm gonna hang up.
All right, bye.
Yep.
We are going 150 laps today and working 43 here, and Steve Baker continues to lead Chris Berg as we are under caution here. When we go back to green here, once again, you're going to see them fan out down that dog leg through 1 and 2. As a driver, it's a lot of fun, cars everywhere, but it's also a lot really stressful because the one other thing that you can get in trouble, never mind that the car might want to push or spin in the corners. Some guys will break going into these corners a lot earlier than other drivers. Some drivers will back the corners up. Some guys will attack the corners. You've got to know who you're racing around, and maybe their tendency, it's real easy to get in the back of somebody that might think they're going to back their corner up so they can get a better exit. If you do that and you anticipate wrong, it's real easy to cause an issue here.
Yeah, and well, like in that last incident there, I mean, that car is moving a good 5 or 6 lanes when he's coming back up on there. And it's quite easy for somebody to get in your blind spot, too, if you don't have a spotter.
Yeah, it really, really is. And that's where awareness comes from. And, it needs to come into play and everything else. And sometimes you just lose track of somebody. It's so easy to do here. And, but like I said, it is open. It's there to use. So it is fair play. Guys can go down there and do it. It does upset the car a little bit as you make the transition off the actual racing surface down into that inside, low dog leg, should I say? And it even, kind of bumps the car around as you come back on the track. So even though you're doing that, maybe gaining a little bit of speed at the end of the straightaway, you got to be really, really careful not to get yourself in trouble doing it. We're going to double them up now, and it looks like we're going to get ready to turn them loose again.
Yep, as we head down to the Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone, we will have Chris Berg and Steve Baker on that front row. Oh, we've got Brian's. Okay, there we go. They enter the restart zone. Baker with a nice jump on the restart. He's going to take a couple car length lead down into turn 1. Chris Mefford's going to wheel it in there in second place, John. They're pushing it hard all the way around. Baker with a nice run off turn 2.
Yeah, a little further back, Mitchell Snare. I was watching him through there, and he was like almost dirt tracking and got way up high. It looked like he was running that cushion and really held his own. So a lot of different lines work down there. You just got to drive them right. And, man, that's an incredible sight watching them come down that dog leg, though, and just spread out and dive off the track. And, the 69 overcooks the corner. And, I shouldn't have mentioned Snare, that kind of Mitchell there. That he got the bad end of that deal.
Yeah, he got up into the wall pretty hard. We'll follow him here a minute and see how his car handles. I got a feeling he's got some heavy right side damage. Oh, some right rear too.
Yeah, that all started by, I forgot the car number there, that, kind of overcooked the corner and didn't want to hit the guy in front of him and slid right up, and poor Mitchell had nowhere to go.
Back up front, we've got Mefford has ran Baker down and caught him again. Nobody's been able to get around him, but they have been able to run right with him. They just stay right in his shadow and follow him around lap after lap. We are coming up on lap 50. That'll put us 1/3 of the way through the race.
Yeah, and right now the best battle, I think, on the track is for that 4th place, that 4th, 5th, 6th. These guys are swapping positions here and racing really, really hard. And this goes back to what I told you, too. You got to be careful how hard you want to push it. You do not want to burn these tires off. If you do so, you're going to drop like a rock in about 15 laps.
Yeah, I wonder, if they're going to run a long green here and they settle in, that coming up off that transition and up onto the banking has got to be a little bit harder on the tire, you would think.
Yeah, I would think so, and the tires are already wearing out pretty quick, but it's quicker. So, I mean, if guys go down there, you've got to ask yourself in the car, do you want to give that spot up and fight another day and whatnot? The leader is kind of, up the track and starting to kind of check out on this group here, so you don't want to fall too far behind.
Yeah, that last time through, they both took 2 different lines. Baker actually took the highest line through the dog leg that I've seen him take all night.
Yeah, and that'll save the tires a little bit because you're not putting as much wheel in the car to turn the car in the corner. When you do that, the tires are turned. You're scrubbing them. You're wearing them out a little bit, especially that right front. So if you can kind of almost do that drift, kind of drift up. What we call it diamond in dirt track racing. Kind of drift up and high through the middle, and then kind of diamond down coming out of the corner. You can really save your tires doing that.
Yeah, they're running much higher than they were earlier. They're kind of cutting through there, but just cutting below the yellow line.
Yeah, we see the 71 car is back out on the track after his little kerfuffle with the turn 3 wall. Good to see him back on track.
Oh, and we got contact back there with the 41 and the 14 going around. That's going to possibly bring out a yellow. Maybe they kept going.
Well, they're off the racing surface, so iRacing tends to not throw flags unless they're on the racing surface.
Yeah, they're both moving. We have no yellow.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a case where, 14 was trying to miss the 71 and then 41 was down there. Man, is he going to lose a lot of time now, that 41 car.
Kind of give a quick rundown here with Steve Baker and Chris Mefford. First and second, we got Chris Berg in the 66 and Dustin Ping in the 1. Jeff Stiles and Brian Snare running 5th and 6th. Brian Littleton and Chris Spencer back there battling along with Dylan Blankenship and Craig Lerman.
Yeah, those guys right there are all over each other.
That's the top 10. And then we got Hunter Tate and Brandon Mefford back there running 10th and 11th. Mefford cuts underneath and makes the pass, maybe. No, he doesn't quite get him, but he's got him up on the high side going through 3 and 4. Mefford's having a good race. He's up 14 positions. The Dylan Blankenship car that's running 8th is up 31 positions with Dustin Ping being our hard charge. Well, he's not. Is Chris Mefford come up 35 positions since the start of the race, or is there an error with our scoring?
Chris Mefford, there's an error with your scoring. Chris Mefford started on the pole and is sitting second. Looking down at the lineup, it looks like your biggest mover of the race so far is Dylan Blankenship. Started 33rd, is now all the way up to 8th. You got another one there, Hunter Tate, who is just outside the top 10 there in 11th. He started P30, so he's moving up through the field too, and not even halfway through. And if you make that big of a jump the first half of the race, that's really a good start to your race. But Hunter Tate and Roy Hyde. Roy, we got a caution.
Mitchell Snare, I believe that's the 43 that got in the wall a little bit earlier. Oh, no, it's the, oh, he did. It's the 69 got in the wall, and then the 43 spun. So Craig Lerman got up into the wall, and then the 43 spun trying to avoid him.
Yeah, if you put all the brake into these cars, they will turn around just because, look like Lerman had just a little help from Roy Hyde there getting into that corner there, but wow, just product of close quarters racing there.
Well, John, we've got Stephen Baker's just having an awesome run here. He's setting the pace. I know the guys are keeping up with him. I don't know if anybody's holding back a little bit or if they're running with all they got. I do know that some of these guys have gotten really good at pacing these races, so we'll have to kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, like I said earlier, tire wear is actually a big part of the strategy here. Out in the desert, this track is abrasive, and there's sand and whatnot on the track. If you're out there, and for guys, that have their graphics all the way up, you see rocks and dust and all kinds of things flying up off these cars as they go around the track, and especially when they get out of the groove and whatnot. So there's a lot out there that can wear these tires out. Other than just the driver over driving the corners, but you have to take that in consideration as you're driving. Push up, but not too far. And the funny thing is, Andy, one thing I've learned about racing is sometimes you gotta slow down to go faster. And if you start backing your corners up and not pushing every corner, and you look over in your lap times and they seem to be quicker, it that happens so many times, and this is a case of where it could happen. You'll see guys that just look like they're lightning fast, but they're really not pushing their cars too much. They're just taking care of their equipment and getting into a nice rhythm and hitting the same marks every lap and just being consistent. And when you do that, it's funny how that stopwatch responds and starts your times get a little quicker and quicker.
Absolutely. Looks like we're going to be getting lined back up here, so we'll be getting ready for a restart. I would think we're looking at 1 to go here next time by.
Well, they just extended it a little bit. Looks like Roy Hyde was given an EOL penalty for that contact there, so was found at fault there. And like I said, kind of racing deal, absolutely his fault, but just a little bit of a misjudgment. And, I know this isn't really by definition a short track, but it races a lot like a short track, being close quarters and things happen fast around you.
Are you surprised we didn't have anybody go to the pits?
A little bit. The guys must really like the way that their cars are feeling, or they're anticipating another caution here before too long. I probably would have pitted, just to get that extra, oomph and be able to just know that, I can make it to another fuel run at the very least. Because last thing you want is somebody out there that just pitted, which I think a couple guys did, go an extra 15 laps, because we've seen a couple cautions. Last thing you want to do is get into pits and under green flag conditions, because you can lose a lap, if not 2 here, if pit world doesn't go all that well for you.
Okay, now we got the lights off on the pace car, I think, and we're going to get them lined up for a restart.
Yeah, that's the way it looks here. And this is going to be the first restart that we've had where I believe cars are on a little bit older tires. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how they handle turn 1 here, because turn 1, their cars, on new tires, even though you might have to slow down and kind of manage your throttle a little bit, at least the cars turn. Now the cars are kind of moving around on the track, and when you get down there, guys are going to have to anticipate that.
All right, they're going to be heading down through 3 and 4, heading to our Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone. We got some familiar names up there. We got Steve Baker, Chris Mefford, Chris Berg, and Dustin Ping, the top 4. They'll fire off.
I was going to say, watch for the inside line here, because these guys are not going to have the angle they want into that corner, which means they're going to have to back it up. It'll be easy for them to push as we go green.
Baker got a nice shot off down through there, and he's going to head it into turn 1. Slides up a little bit. 46 car gives a little bit of room, but Bird can't get under him. Much tighter this time coming down the backstretch than they were the last restart.
Yeah, and I'm still seeing a lot of give and take. Guys are giving each other room, which is outstanding, and it shows what a good league and what good drivers are out there. So if they continue to do this, they're going to be able to get another green flag run in.
We're going to go to the we got the shake and bake in-car camera up. We're riding along with Chris Berg in 3rd spot. You can see that he lets it drift up just a little bit, and then he cuts it back down here. Coming down the backstretch. Just gives you a different perspective of what the guys are seeing and how they have to... Whoa, the car broke really hard. Mefford broke really hard getting down into the corner.
Yeah, and those are the things I told you got to anticipate as a driver. If somebody realizes they've got an issue or something, it can happen really fast. Great reactions by Chris Berg there. if we're still in his in-car, Andy, when he comes through 1 and 2 next time by, we can just listen to that engine. You can hear how he uses the throttle just in and out, trying to manage it through that corner. It's really fascinating to hear. This corner right here. He is out of the gas, letting that car roll almost to the center of the corner. I mean, it's just really remarkable and shows you how patient you have to be as a driver to make these things go fast.
Yeah, he was rolling down into that corner at 1 and 2, and I don't even think he uses the brakes down there. He lets it roll on in, and then he cuts it back down and drives up off. He's got an interesting line there. It looks really smooth, and he's fast.
Yeah, I'm going to bet he probably taps the brake a little bit right before he turns in, and then, you just let the car coast. You can kind of do the same thing over in 3 and 4. When I was out there, I was lifting right about where the third cone is on the wall as we come around down the backstretch. When we get to 3 and 4, if you look up at the wall, you'll see 3, 2, 1 cones. So the 3 I lift, the 2 is where I'd brake, and he sounds like he's doing the same.
Yep, we're heading towards the halfway. We've got 72 laps in of our 150. They'll be coming around in about 2 laps. They'll be taking the cross flags, and we'll be heading into the second half of this race. Very competitive race up front. I feel like the 3 of them are just kind of waiting to get later into the laps, and I look for some exciting battles.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're up front. Not a lot of pressure. We got a lot of laps left. Sitting there riding isn't necessarily a bad thing. I know it's not great for the fans and whatnot, but it's really smart. Nobody's abusing their equipment. Nobody needs to put anybody in a bad spot out there. You click these laps off, and then, when you get about 20 to go, gloves come off, and you can go for it.
Yeah, we're back here riding along with Hunter Tate and Chris Spencer and Travis Smith. Some of the guys back here in the field, they're running from 8th to 12th and battling with each other. Got some good racing all the way around the track.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about short track racing. No matter where you're at in the field, you're probably going to be around somebody. And that allows you to race a lot, through the whole race. And it can be kind of taxing mentally, too, that you're always in some kind of fight for the entire race.
Absolutely. Back here we got Roy Hyde, who was put to the back on that last yellow. He's starting to work his way back up through the field. Not as fast as he'd like to, I'm sure, but he is coming back up through.
And Roy does have a victory already on the season. He won there at the Super Speedway down there at Daytona. So he's had a pretty good start to the season here. I think he got a podium, I believe maybe it was Vegas the following week.
Yeah, he's been running well. All right, Mefford is starting to put pressure on Baker. He got up to his quarter panel there, John.
Yeah, one of the advantages to running in second and third, you can start to build runs on the guy in front of you to see where maybe you're stronger, where your car gets through the corner a little better, maybe off the corner a little better. And you can start to formulate a plan for later on when you actually want to force the issue. Where can you get them? Where are you stronger? You can spend plenty of time figuring that out, and it's a pretty good advantage. Whereas the 55 there, being up front, Steve Baker there, he's got to dodge lap cars here, but he's just got to hit his marks, and he doesn't have that luxury of measuring the other guys up.
No, they come up on that lap car pretty quick. I think it caught the 46 off guard there a little bit. All right, we just clicked off lap 80. We are starting to cut into them now. We've got 70 to go. These front three guys, I would think anything here in the next 15 to 20 laps as far as a caution or anything, we're going to have everybody scrambling for the pits.
Yeah, I think the first caution came out about 35, 40 laps into the race, so we're coming up on that as many laps now as they did that opening run. But I suspect they have a little more fuel to go a little bit further. But right now, yeah, they're waiting for some new tires. I think they're ready for the tires more than they are the fuel.
Yeah, the front three are running nose to tail. They're getting tighter and tighter. The second and third place car of Mefford and Berg actually seem to get through 1 and 2 a little bit better than the leader.
Yeah, I don't know how many of these guys partake in dirt racing on iRacing, but right now, any of these guys that do a lot of dirt are going to have a little bit of an advantage, because with the cars sliding around and having to seesaw the wheel, can be a big advantage here as they come up on 2 lap cars here.
Back here running 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th are coming up on them lap cars now. Looks like the one car got stuck out behind them there, Dustin Ping. Those 4 all got through without incident. You see that Mefford and Berg are both entering one a little bit higher and then driving down. I like that line for later on in the race.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, in dirt we refer to that as diamonding the corner a bit, and even in asphalt they do too. But that's an easier line on your tires. You're not having to put as much wheel in. You're just letting the car do its natural thing. You're not fighting it. I'm with you. I like that line. I think it's a good line to not use up your equipment. And you're starting to see 4th, 5th, and 6th start to reel in the 1st through 3rd here just a little bit. A little bit by each lap goes by. I mean, they're not making wholesale cuts into the lead, but yeah, they're closing up maybe on a 10th per lap maybe. Tell you, Andy, if we don't have a caution, we got to do green flag pit stops. That's really going to shake this order up, because this pit road is so long. It starts as you come out of turn 4, and then you leave entering in the middle of the dog leg. So I mean, you're running 2/3 of the lap on pit road at the reduced speed. It's just almost got to be agonizing. Almost probably like Martinsville, just agonizing to come down and go down that road. It's so long.
Yeah, I was just watching the scoring tower there, John. Dylan Blankenship's running the fastest laps on the track, back in 5th place. So you're absolutely right. 4th, 5th, and 6th seem to be running them down a little bit. You can see the gaps closing. Yeah, they were both 28.7s against the 28.9 from the race leader.
Yeah, and they've got some traffic coming up, the leaders do here, that they're going to catch probably in about the next half a lap. So that might actually help to bring those top 3 back into the next 3 there a little bit. Even though the 4th, 5th, and 6th have kind of separated a little bit, and 7th there back to Dustin Ping. But I tell you, 4th of Brian Snare and Dylan Blankenship, they are running the leaders down. We got one into the wall in front of the leaders there. Ooh.
The yellow flag is down.
Caution. Man, those guys are breathing a sigh of relief right now.
Yeah, because we had to be getting close to green flag pit stops.
Yeah, and then you got to be worried about getting like a speeding penalty or something there, as long as that pit road is. But looked like the 68 just kind of lost the back end, able to kind of do a lazy spin, and barely gets into the wall there down the backstretch. And as predicted, here they all come.
All right, this could be very important for how the rest of this race goes, how they get in and out of this pit. Crucial pit stop right here as Baker pulls into his spot. Mefford and Berg are right in there with him.
Looks like Baker's going to win the on pit road, the race off pit road.
Yes, he did. They're going to come off the same way they came in. Looks like the 21 car is going to pick up a spot. Dylan Blankenship got around Brandon Mefford in the pits. Oh, yeah. Baker's team put up fastest pit stop, 14.52. Mefford was 14.7. Berg was 14.75. So the next fastest one was the 21 car, and that's where he did gain a position. Tell you, John, on those worn out tires, Brian Snare was definitely the fastest car on the track at the time the yellow came out. Second and third place car were putting a lot of pressure on Baker, so we'll kind of see what happens here. Can they make it the rest of the way? How many laps can they go on a tank of fuel?
I am not 100% certain on that, but I would think it would be really close. The big question here is that'll be a really long run on your tires. So if you want to go for it and try to get some spots right off the bat here, you may pay for the price at the end of that run if we do not go caution, if we do not get another caution. But if we get a couple of cautions here, I do think that they probably could stretch it here to the end. And you know, like I said, then at that point it just becomes who's the nicest to their tires that's going to probably have the advantage the last 10 laps or so.
All right, looks like the light's off.
Well, they're 1 and 2 looking up at Rattlesnake Hill as they go through there.
This is going to bunch them back up. We're going to find out what this top front eight's got. They were kind of battling back there 4th through 7th. This will give us a fresh start. See who's got their car dialed in a little better now. as they head through the Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone. Baker fires off with a nice restart. Mefford's right there along with Berg. And Blankenship's right up in there underneath Snare. We've got a couple new guys up in there battling for this front.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on that 21 car here for this next run here. He's got really good track position here, and he was really, really quick there at the end of that last run.
Oh, we got another quick yellow.
Looks maybe the 6 car maybe got a little bit loose coming out of that corner there. Yep.
Yep, he got loose and spun it around right there, middle of the pack. I tell you what, that 21 car looked pretty stout.
Yeah, I've been watching the last, few laps, and if this thing has a long green flag run, that might play into his hands because he seemed a bit stronger than these other guys. He gained another spot on this restart, but he definitely looked like the car to beat on a long run. Now, seeing we're at Phoenix here, if I am not mistaken here, I think I saw on Facebook, did I see you in a pickup truck driving Jeff Gordon around here?
You did. Travis, who's usually on here, our announcer, Travis, him and his brother both worked at Phoenix Speedway for about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, nice.
So, Dad, I got the opportunity to drive the pace car. I did that 2 or 3 years, but that picture there was taken about 7 years ago. My father passed away a couple years ago, but he was a big Jeff Gordon fan. So to be able to get my dad in there and take Jeff for a ride around the track, that was like my dad thought we'd staged it. It actually just happened that way.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, that was fun. I was out here at the track the first 2 races they ran on this new configuration. And I tell you, the racing's much better than the old track, but the amenities for the fans is no comparison. The infield is just awesome. And the new grandstands, I mean, there's Wi-Fi, you've got power connectors. I mean, it's just really, they just really moderned it up.
It looks like a beautiful facility out there. Maybe one day I'll get out there, talk to my wife, and we've been wanting to go out there and go to the Four Corners and see Monument Valley, and maybe I can time that when there's a race going on down there.
Yeah, I've been traveling the last 2 weekends, as you know, John, and I was in Vegas when they were running there, and I was in Phoenix when they were running there, and I didn't make it to either show.
Vegas I can understand because, well, it's Vegas. There's a lot to do there, but, oh, Andy, you can't let Phoenix slip through your hands.
Made no sense at all. And then I live in Atlanta, so they ran here today, and I didn't go there today. So the last 3 races I've been in town with, I haven't made it to them.
Did you at least get to go watch the Cool Ray car drive around with Josh Williams yesterday? I saw he got a nice finish.
Yeah, he got hoodwinked there at the last lap. We're heading into the Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone here in about a half a lap. Yeah, Josh got up to 13th, and then on the last lap he lost about 8 spots. He got caught up in a little melee. I'm excited to see what happens here when we go down into turn 1. I got a feeling that Blankenship's got something for him.
Yeah, I do too. It'll be interesting with these guys. They know it's lap 100 now. This is a standard 50-lap feature. Nice little Saturday night or Sunday night special, if you may. This will be fun.
Baker with a nice start. Berg and Mefford right there with him. Blankenship's going to roll it in on the high side. See what kind of run he can get off from 2. Yeah, he's got a nice run down the back stretch. Look at that race for the lead. Mefford up on the high side. I think he's going to get him right here at the line. Mefford's your new leader.
Just using that big momentum off that corner there, running that high line, hitting that cushion, and letting her eat. Nice pass. That's a power move right there for Mefford.
Oh, that was a beautiful move. That was a power move there. That car just hooked and turned. Once it turned, he was throttled down and drove off that corner. We got another yellow.
Yeah, it looks like this one might be involving the 69 maybe. Yeah, the 69 and 48, and looks like it's one of those deals, you know, using the whole track, someone coming from the bottom, moving up the track, and on a restart, that's just really tough to do. And there's some, they continue wrecking past the original. This guy's trying to miss it, so that was kind of a big kerfuffle there, and it's going to affect a lot of drivers.
Yep, we had quite a few caught up in that one, buddy.
Yeah.
I tell you, Chris Mefford is sitting in the power seat right now. That was an awesome move. I thought he was quicker than Baker there for the last 30 laps of that last run. Man, on them newer tires, he just hooked up and drove right around him.
Yeah, he really, really did. And that momentum that he had, you know, the one thing about being on the bottom there, you know, you've got to wait and wait before you can get back on the throttle. But Mefford was on that second lane up, and being in that lane, you can get to the throttle a little bit earlier, which means you carry more speed off the corner exit, gives you more drive down the back stretch, and that just gives you a ton of momentum. And Mefford used it. I mean, that was just textbook. Like I said, he's going to be in the catbird seat here for a little bit, but like I said, I'm not going to sleep on that 21 car just yet.
Looks like Cody Early was the lucky dog that time. Well, yellow's still out. They've extended a little bit here. I think they're trying to clean up the little bit of debris on the track, plus get the lineup squared away in the back there.
Yeah, sweeping up that kitty litter they put out.
Well, I hope you're all enjoying this show tonight from the LEC NextGen series, brought to you by the Extreme eSpeed TV network. We got John Hine and Andy Piercefield here tonight. We apologize for the technical difficulties we had there the first 25-30 laps. SDK, I don't know. We just had some issues with it. There was some updates or something going on there. It would not let us in.
But what we have seen has been an excellent race. Up front has been tight the entire time. And, man, I'm still just in awe of that pass for the lead right there, Mefford. And that may very well be the winning pass of the race. We'll have to see. You know, the thing is here where they're doubling up, Baker saw that move. Baker is now on the outside. And you think maybe he might try what Mefford just did and make that outside, try to use that cushion, so to speak, and get that run.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if he moves up at all. He's been running right down on the yellow line, and the guys behind him have appeared to be quicker, so we'll see. He's, I don't know. I would feel pretty good right now if I'm Mefford. We'll see how this restart goes. They will fire off on the 46 car this time. That is an advantage on the restart. They're heading down into 3. They'll be coming around for the Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone. And Mefford with a
Green
nice
flag, green
jump.
flag.
Looks like Chris Berg had a nice start too. He's up underneath the 55 car. Baker with a nice run on the high side. I think he just learned something there in that corner. We got Blankenship looking under Berg now, coming down into one. He's going to clear him for third.
Got a caution again. Oh, big wreck on the backstretch. Wow. That's the proverbial big one. Oh, the 41 goes around the 43, 17, and then it's just on. The track basically gets blocked. And Andy, you got to look at Cody Early snake his way through there, man. If that car had hair on it, he would have been part of that wreck.
Yeah, we've got 7 or 8 cars back there. We got some cars torn up in the back of this field, John.
Yeah, those crews are going to have to spend some time at the hauler before they can wheel them in there to get them in the car in the haulers there. To pound some sheet metal back into place to even just get them to fit in the back. But their day could be worse. Did you see that picture of the hauler that tried to leave Atlanta and went through the wrong tunnel and tore half the roof off?
Well, the worst part was it was all the refrigeration and the generator.
Yeah, that's an expensive phone call to the boss of, hey, guess what's not my fault?
Oh, I don't think he's going to sell that one. It's not his fault.
Well, you've been down there. I haven't. Is there not markings there or something to say, hey, they won't fit through?
Yes.
Yee. Okay, so yeah, you can't sell that one, can you? I guess you lead with, hey, we had an accident, but I'm okay.
Absolutely. Nobody was hurt. I think while we're under yellow here, John, I'll just throw a quick little plug out. We've got Tuesday night, John and me will be hosting the Coast to Coast Racing League. They have their Hometown Heroes night. We'll be at I-55 Speedway with that on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday night, we'll be racing in the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. And that's going to be at Bristol Speedway. And that'll also be brought to you by the Extreme eSpeed TV network. Well, me and John on Tuesday, and Travis and Adam will be bringing you the show on Wednesday.
Yeah, looking forward to getting to Bristol there and having at it at that track. I like that track. It'll be kind of fun and wide open, that's for sure.
You know, for as big as that track is, John, that track can get real small at times.
Yeah, it sure can. And like I said, I'm looking forward to going. I got a top 5 last week, so hopefully we can build on that and maybe get a few spots better there and bring home a trophy.
All right, they turned out the light. We got Dylan Blankenship up into 3rd spot now. We'll see what he can do from there. Got Chris Mefford's going to fire us off. Pace car here at Phoenix pulls off over there in turn 2. Seems like he pulls off early at this track. But we will, it's because of the pit opening. We're going to fire off on Chris Mefford's go. Big advantage on these tracks when you restart. The way the rules are, the leader needs to be leading the race when he crosses the line. Heading down into the restart zone. As soon as he turns and gets pointed down that front stretch is usually when he fires. And he did. He's out about a 3-car separation on Baker as they head down into the dogleg.
Look at the 21's got a really good run going down the back stretch there, front stretch there.
Yep, Blankenship got a really good start. He's solidly in that third spot with Berg and Snare right behind him. Got 38 laps to go. Everybody should be good on fuel if we stay green. It'll a lot of depend on what happens if we get a late yellow. We got some really good racing back here around 7th and 8th back there with Dustin, Ping, and Spencer and Brandon Mefford. They're back there battling.
Yeah, we're getting really close to that go time here. I'd say another 5, 6, 7 laps is when you want to start showing your hand. And if you're one of these guys back in that 5th, 6th, or 7th, now is the time that you want to say, okay, gotta go forward, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. If you're in the top 3, though, you know what? Top 3, 4, you can still be patient here for maybe another 10 laps or so. And then at that point, you got to turn the wick up and go. Got a good battle here right now for 5th.
Dustin Ping running up underneath Snare as they head down the backstretch. Looks like the 11 car of Chris Spencer's got quite a bit of damage on the front end. Looks like he might have got into the back end of Dustin Ping.
Yeah, and he's kind of losing track with them too, so you got to wonder if that's not hurting him aerodynamically a little bit or handling. The 83 right now of Brandon Mefford is all over his back bumper, but wow, look at the top 3 now, Andy. They are as tight as they've been all race. Actually, the whole top 5, top 6.
Yeah, them top 5 cars all ran identical laps that time. Actually, Brian Snare had the fast lap in the 45.
This group's going to have a lap car that they're going to have to work around probably in about a half a lap or so. But they've done really well all race, both the lap guys and the guys coming up on them. We haven't seen any kind of miscommunication at all this race, so good job on both ends. But as a leader, when you see a guy up there that you know is off the pace, that's still a little nerve-wracking.
I tell you, all the way back here, Derek Robinson in 20th. You know, you take he's having a good run, and they're all nose to tail all the way back through the field.
Yeah, like I'd mentioned, it's go time. Right now, you got to have your cards on the table. If there's somebody in front of you, you got to challenge them. Yeah, the only guy that doesn't have that issue is Chris Mefford. There's nobody out in front of him, so he just got to concentrate hitting on his marks. But every other driver in this field has got to push. We're down to 30 laps to go now. With that 30 to go, we set your top 5. It's Chris Mefford, Steve Baker, followed by Dylan Blankenship in 3rd, Chris Berg, and Brian Snare. And Dustin Ping is in 6th, and these top 6 here have kind of pulled away, are in a league of their own right now with the laps winding down here. And Andy, right now it's anybody's game. These guys look all pretty close to even.
They do. I'm curious to see what happens here as our tires wear out.
Me too.
They've all kind of moved up that half lane in 3 and 4, but I'm telling you, that 21 car was really fast on the old tire. So I'd really like to see it stay green so we could get some different strategies going here.
Oh, Medford got a little loose coming off of 2. The back kind of snapped around on him a little bit, but he was able to recover. But yeah, I would think probably about 20 to go, maybe 15 to go. I think tires from that point on will be a factor. And I'm starting to see as these guys enter turn 3, at the exit of turn 4 is a huge number of cars that they're going to close in on.
Yeah, I'd say they've got probably going to be around lap 135 to 140 that they're going to have to navigate through a pack of cars.
Yeah, and that's inside 10 to go, and that's when you're trying to do everything you can to get around the guy in front of you. You definitely do not want lap traffic in the vicinity when you're trying to do that.
Looks like Blankenship's trying some different lines right now. Let's see what he can find. He's looking for some speed.
Yeah, I think he's just taking care of his tires, running lines that aren't really, putting too much wear into them. But like you said, searching around and seeing where his car is quick. He's just running out of laps to get around these final 2 guys to get the win.
Chris Berg's pulled right up there in the 66 too, running in 4th. He's running some nice lap times also.
Yeah, and 5th and 6th have kind of fallen back just a little bit. So now you're starting to look at a 4-car breakaway here a little bit. Remember, Berg ran 2nd for a long time that first half of the race, and so he's 2nd or 3rd I think though. So he's got some pace in that car. He may not have shown all his cards quite yet, and we're coming up on 20 to go. You never know. He gets down lower than anybody coming through this dog leg too, so I don't know if that's working for him or against him, but it's definitely on a different strategy.
And Snare pulls back up, so we got the top 5 are all right there again.
Yeah, and they've basically caught that pack of cars now. So this is going to be real interesting the next maybe 3, 4, 5 laps as they try to work this traffic here. I've seen everybody be pretty cordial so far and just kind of move up and get out of the way. But now that they're battling for spots at the end of the race here, it'll be interesting to see what these next 4 guys here do that are in front of the leader. 55's got to run for the lead. He kind of backs out and slots back up. But look at the traffic in front of these guys.
He's right on his quarter panel coming through 3 and 4.
These lap cars continue to kind of move up and get out of the way. That's good sportsmanship on their part. Very neat to see that happen in the league, and the leaders are loving that fact. And look at Baker. Baker is now he is to the inside as they go into 1.
It's going to be a lap car there. We'll see if Medford can use it as a pick. What a great race up front. We got 5 cars up there, bumper to bumper, working through the lap traffic. All the lap traffic's being very respectful. Like to see that when you got a league where the guys are going to run with each other every week. But I'm telling you, this race for the lead is a long ways from over, John.
Yeah, it really is. And The 55, before we thought, wow, Chris Medford was a little faster there than Steve Baker, but now it looks like Baker's the one with the quicker car. And Dylan Blankenship's just sitting there going, all right, guys, figure this out so I can get up here.
Yeah, Baker's right on his bumper coming through the corner. Coming back across the stripe. We got 17 to go. Down here is where he seems to be able to get underneath him. Good close battle. Nobody's touching anybody. Oh, Blankenship with a big run on the outside. Let's see what he does.
Oh, he left the door open there, too, to the 66 there of Chris Berg.
Yep, opened it up for Berg.
As a driver, this is really, really tough. If you're sitting in that second or third spot, you want to get the guy in front of you, but you got a guy that's hungry behind you and wants to pass you. And, do you pass? Do you defend? Where do you pass? Is it a place that you should be defending? There's a lot of things that you've got to weigh in and calculate to what you're doing inside that car right now.
Baker had a big run down into 3 on Mefford, and he had to brake or he was going to get into him, but big run on him after that lap car.
Yeah, he slid that nose a little bit too. I'm wondering if that'll affect the handling. If he heats those front tires up, he might need a lap or two to get him calm back down and go back at him.
15 to go, John. We got 5 guys that are all in contention for this one. Mefford's looking good. He's got about a 3-car length lead over Baker. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he hurt his front tires. He's actually dropped back a little bit. He's about a tenth and a half slow. Maybe he can catch him up here and get him cooled down.
Yeah, when he did that, he slid probably about a full lane high with that nose. I just watched it shove with that back end dancing around, and it doesn't take, especially after a long run like this and the tires are worn out anyway, to get them not happy and really start to lose the handle on the car. But I'll tell you, I'm surprised Blankenship hasn't been able to capitalize on it. You would think if Baker had fallen back a little bit, you'd think Blankenship would be right there to strike, but that really hasn't been the case so far. It's possible that Blankenship used his stuff up too to get into the spot, because when we started this last run, he's picked up a couple of spots and had to be a little aggressive to do it.
Yeah, Melford is definitely the fastest car on the track right now. He's running into 28.7s.
You also think of all the times Baker was running that yellow line right here through 1 and 2, and that means you're cranking that wheel into it and you're chewing up the tires, or Medford was up a little bit higher. Man, this just has a looks that Medford was able to take better care of his tires and right now has the advantage.
Yep. Yeah, they're at a big disadvantage. He's running the fastest laps on the track.
And look, he's almost a whole lane higher than what Baker is, and I'm telling you that really saves those tires, because he's not turning the wheel. He's able to kind of keep the wheel straight, almost, for a lack of a better term, and it's really paying off for him right now, and he's being fast doing it too. Now Blankenship is really starting to pressure Baker as they go through 1 and 2 here. Baker seems to not get the drive off the corner that Blankenship does, but problem is Blankenship gets in the straightaway and can't do anything with those runs at this point.
No, Baker. It appears that Baker's holding up the 3rd and 4th place car. There's just nowhere around him. He's just fast enough where they can't get around him, and just slow enough that he can't catch the leader. 8 to go, John.
The LA flag is out.
Oh my gosh, a caution.
Oh, we got a caution.
And that changes everything. All right, Andy, big question. $1 million question. Do you pit or don't pit? Go get that fresh rubber. Oh, boy. Because you know some people are, as you see the 41 turning around there. So, but you know some people are, and how big of a difference is that going to make? And it looks like they're coming in. Remember back in the 80s and 90s, the ring announcer, Michael Buffer?
Yeah.
Now, I can't do it like him, but that whole "let's get ready to rumble" should be blasting through the speakers about right now.
All right, here they come. Here's the leaders coming into the pits. Medford's got that first stall. Looks like everybody's taking right sides. Oh, here's some guys that must have just took either just gas or right side tires. We're going to have a new leader. Looks like we're going to have the 23 car of Caudell. It's going to be our new leader. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's pulling in the pits. Looks like, must be the 1 car of Ping. Yeah, the 1 car of Ping is the leader, with the 11 of Chris Spencer, and then we have Mefford and Baker. The 2 leaders, they must have only took right sides. They turned 9-second pit stops. So.
Yeah, that would be what my guess was. Or they did a splash. Well, they splash and go at this point would have been quicker, so they had to have just been right sides only.
So yeah, it looks like when it all shakes out, we're going to have the 1, the 11, the 46 of Mefford, the 55 of Baker, and the 21 of Blankenship. I'm showing the 17. He needs to come around the pace car.
Well, here's the deal. The 46 has been pretty quick. Looks like if everything shakes out like I think it's going to anyway, he's going to be on the inside of row 2. The 55 is going to be on the outside row 2. And I'm thinking being on the outside and be able to get those runs off the corner, I've got a feeling that's going to be a little more advantageous to be on the outside here. But the 2 guys on the front row are going to dictate just how it goes, because you know what? When they fire, you're not going to notice the difference. When you get down into turn 1, these guys that are going to have four fresh ones are going to be significantly faster through the center of the corner.
All right, we're getting them lined up. We're getting ready to go into the restart.
You nervous, Andy?
I am a little bit.
I am too.
They're coming down the backstretch. We got 2 guys on the front row with only 2 right side tires each.
Well, they fired early.
Green, green, green.
Well, the 1 car definitely fired before we got into 3. I'm not sure what
Whoa.
the call is on that. That was a little interesting.
Yeah. I think he forgot where the start-finish line was, maybe.
Whoa, and Medford's going around.
And bam, into the end of the wall. Oh, we got another wreck. Big wreck now. And that's what I was saying earlier. On the outside exit of turn 2 with fresh tires, that back end does not plant.
Let's see what happened here. The 46 lost it getting down into 1.
And his night just got worse, too. He's going to have to tow. He is beached on those tire barrels.
Oh, he sure is back there, yep. And then it looks like the 83 That's the two Meffords. They had the rough go there.
Oh, the 46 got himself off. He has been free to the tire barrels. At least we didn't have a thing. What was it in the Xfinity race at Vegas where I forgot who it was slammed the sand barrels? It felt like a sandstorm hit.
I'd be curious. I don't. I'm obviously not a race director, but I would think that there may be a call there about that start. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a good question. But like I said, they raced a certain way here, and even in iRacing up until when did iRacing update this? Maybe a year ago. So I don't know how often these guys get to come here and race on the new configuration, but I'll be honest, I'm surprised I haven't called turn 2, turn 4 more often than I have.
So right now we got Dustin Pang. Looks like Chris Spencer got his spot back. The yellow came out while Mefford kind of cleared the way there. He was coming under him. So now we're going to have Baker and Blankenship in row 2.
Yeah. And Andy, the other thing, if there's instruction given too about the pace car has to be off the track before you go, well, that pace car pulls off way back there, and we do a lot of speculation. I mean, they may not do anything or whatever, and that might be everybody might have been expecting it. I can't hear what race control is telling everybody, so but yeah, that was highly unusual.
Yeah,
but
that's my point. I'm not the race director. I don't make the
Yeah.
call. We've been starting pretty much down in that blue restart zone, down there in the Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone.
Yep.
That's where they've been restarting all night. It just caught me off guard. We were going into 3 when he took off. So Dustin, when you watch this later on, I'm not calling you out on it. I'm just saying it looked different than what we'd been doing all night.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have a restart here. Everybody's got a couple laps on their tires now, but that front row has still only got right side rubber. So it'll be curious to see Baker and Blankenship and how they maneuver through this to get to the end. And we have 2 laps, so it's going to be quick.
Yep, we got a green-white checker, and we're going to have 2 attempts at this. So if they have an issue here before the white flag flies, we'll re-rack them and try it one more time. And Andy, as hard as these guys are going to be pushing, we may need that second one.
All right, the lights are off. We're coming out of 2. The pace car settles in. He'll head down pit road. Dustin Ping and Chris Spencer will be pacing him down the backstretch. They'll fire on Dustin Ping's fire.
They're definitely didn't fire as early as last time.
Nope, he's rolling down into 3. Coming around to the restart zone, the Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone, and he fires off. Going to have about a 3-car advantage over Baker. Baker's making that up as they head down into 1. Baker clears Spencer for second. We'll see what the left side tires do for drive off from 2. Ping looks like he's holding a steady, nice pace. Blankenship makes his move under Spencer. He'll pull up into 3rd.
Look at the run. Oh, and we
got a car turned around back there. It was the 11 car. Chris
They're
Spencer.
going to keep going. Oh, caution. I thought they'd taken the white flag by that point, but I guess not. Well, I'll tell you, the one guy in the town that did not want to see that happen, Dustin Ping. Now he's going to have those guys with both sides of fresh rubber next to him and behind him.
Oh, Spencer had a little bit of help there. It looks like he got just a touch loose, and then he got hit. Oh, and then he got hit again by the 83 car. That tore that car up pretty good. Cody Early coming through there unscathed once again. Man is a magician behind the wheel. Timing and scoring. I thought we only had 2 laps to go.
We do, but it re-racks it now to a green-white checker.
Oh, I got it. Thank you, John. I was feeling very, very inadequate at that moment with any knowledge to share with the viewers. All right. So
usually when there's math involved, I'm lost anyway. But you know what? When they call it green-white checker, hey, I understand that at least.
So we'll go double file again here. This is going to put Baker on the outside. This is going to put Blankenship right behind the leader. I would not count him out.
No, but you know he's going to have a tough task here because that 1 is going to be on the bottom, and I just don't think he's going to get through 1 and 2 as good as the 55. But he is going to be able to dictate the start, so he's going to have probably the advantage when they get down there. But I think at this point the 55 is probably a little bit better position here than the 21. Now, if there was maybe 10 laps to go, I think it'd be a different story. But I just don't know that there's enough time for the 21 to get both those guys.
Well, right now, Dustin Ping's pit strategy is looking pretty good with those 2 right side tires.
Yeah, it really, really is, especially with green-white checker. You get the good start, then it takes the 55 probably 2/3 of a lap to catch back up to him and get back to his bumper to make up that distance, leaving about a lap and a half to do something. And, you know, catching guys is one thing, passing them is another.
Yep, so here we come to the backstretch. We've got pace car is off. We got Ping and Baker pacing us down through here. We're heading to the Blackhawk Motorsports restart zone. We'll see where Ping fires off, see how Baker's prepared for that. He's heading down into 3. And he fires. He got a nice jump on Blankenship and Baker. Snare sticks it up in the middle. Ping with a nice restart. He's got a nice 3-4 car length advantage going down into the corner. Baker rolls up. Those fresh tires. See if he's got anything for him. It'll show up down at this other end if he does. He swings it out wide. He's got a nice run on him. He's coming way underneath. He's going to have the advantage going down into 1. Baker is out front. Ping's trying to battle back on the outside. And Baker lost it.
Oh, man, that's got to involve most of the top 10.
I saw Snare get up into the air.
So 2 tires it is. Holy cow. Boy, a lot of guys had top 10s that went south right there at the very end.
Dustin Ping's our winner, followed by Dylan Blankenship and Troy Radford. Brian Mescal, Nathan Bishop, and Brian Littleton. Justin Walters, Tyler Hilton, and Bobby Hetrick, along with Travis Smith as your top 10. We had a lot of really good cars get a bad finish there. Um, that was really too bad. Steve Baker is going to end up 19th on the grid.
Yeah, and that's just a product, like I said, that the back end there comes out really easy at the exit of turn 2, and when you're pushing and pushing and pushing that hard, that's just a recipe. And I mean, you can't blame those guys. I mean, they're doing what they have to do to. I mean, he's going for the win. Of course, you're going to push, and man, just a bad deal there for them at the end. But I tell you, it was entertaining for us out here in TV land to watch.
Yes, it was. All right, John, I'm going to bring Troy Radford up here in the booth for you.
Troy, this is John up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, buddy. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really well. Well, you're on the podium, and you got there by some really, I'm going to say, hair-raising circumstances. Why don't you walk me through that last lap there for me?
I mean, honestly, just sheer dumb luck. That's it. I mean, just try to put yourself in decent position to get a decent finish. I let up at the beginning, so I essentially started dead last on the field and just worked my way through. So, just that's all it is, just sheer dumb luck. Got through the wreck and made it into P3. So that's about all I can say. Good luck.
Well, you mentioned going to the back there. Coming through the field, were you just kind of aggressive coming through the field, just picking them up, laying them down, or were you in the back of your mind, okay, I've got to manage my tires and get to the end?
It was all tire management. I mean, so I've run this league enough times, and I have some awful luck about getting wrecked out of the front. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to commit to at least 5 races starting near dead last and just trying to pick them up as I can get them, as opposed to racing hard all the time. So, it's paid off in some ways. Some ways it's not. Unfortunately, I'm not running for wins right now with doing that. But it's really just tire management and trying to take advantage of people whenever they're on older tires or worse.
Well, once you got towards the end of those long runs in that tire management, how big of a difference did you have on guys that you felt like might have abused them early on? I mean, was it easy to pass, or you had to set them up and work them over? Like I said, how big of a difference would you say it was?
I mean, really on the old tires, it wasn't too bad at all. I'd kept good care of them, so these guys were pushing in pretty bad spots that I was able to really get through. But the big thing is just trying to be patient, and it's so easy to just overdrive and kill the tires here. So, that's really all it is. Is just, getting up there was good. As I was watching the lap times, I was similar to the leaders, maybe a tick slower. I don't know if I had anything for Chris or Steve had it played out the way it looked like, but I'll take a P3.
Well, great run. Your starting position was 28th, and anytime you can say, "Hey, I started 28th, came home 3rd," that's a good night there, Troy. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Big shout out, of course, all my sponsors as far as National Kidney Foundation, Lucky Finn Project, and Evidence Based Mommy, as well as all the guys over at Falcon Motorsports. And we're putting in a lot of time trying to get these things right and work on our long runs. And we should have had the win tonight with one of our other guys, but here we are with P3 and a P8. So.
Well, my friend, that was an outstanding run, an outstanding recovery, and I believe, is it Atlanta we're going to next? So we'll see you next week there in Atlanta.
Hey, thank you.
Congratulations, Troy.
Thank you.
And we are here with the race winner, Dustin Ping. Dustin, you have a copy?
I do.
Well, Dustin, boy, I tell you what, I was kind of wondering.
Hey, Troy, I didn't know what room to move you back to. So
I didn't want to jump out in the middle of the broadcast and have it ding at you. So, so that's fine. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, buddy. Nice job.
Thank you.
And for probably going on 3 years now, it's finally off my back. So hopefully it start coming a little easier.
Well, congratulations. That is awesome. And what a way to get it. A little bit of a roll of the dice there. And tell me, having the 2 tires there, did it, compared to when you took 4 maybe earlier in the race, what were your lap times and how did the car drive with just the 2 compared to the 4?
Lap times are about the same. It was a little looser on center corner, but it actually made it feel better. I probably would have liked it more often with two the rest of the race.
Wow. Well, I tell you, that is a gutsy call to get your first win, and congratulations. And you're going to enjoy this for a while, I am sure. And tell me though, I mean, as the race unfolded, at what point did you like, okay, I've got this. This is this. I'm going to be a player here at the end of this.
I didn't think I was going to get it until after Steve spun underneath me. So that's the only time I had any security in the win. So.
Fair enough. Well, I tell you, Dustin, congratulations on a great call, a great win. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'd like to thank my team, Blackhawk Motorsports, and my sponsors, ACPA, Kindred Group, and Shire Glass. All in. I'd like to thank them. So.
Well, congratulations again, Dustin. A well-deserved victory, and like I said, the gutsiest call I've seen yet this season, and man, it paid off big time. So, enjoy it. We'll see you next week at Atlanta.
I appreciate it.
That's Dustin Ping, tonight's winner at Phoenix.
Yeah, what a finish. Didn't see that one coming. There's just a quick rundown here, John. We've got Dustin Ping, our winner. Dylan Blankenship came in second place with Troy Radford in third. Brian Mescal and Nathan Bishop fourth and fifth with Brian Littleton and Justin Walders. Tyler Hilton and Bobby Hetrick eighth and ninth. Travis Smith and Damian Patton 10th and 11th. Chris Spencer and Mike Massengill 12th and 13th. With Gordon Larson and Jeff Stiles 14th and 15th. Roy Hyde came back to finish 16th after being put to the rear with Eric Blunt and Mike Allaward. And then rounding out the field, back in 19th, we had Steve Baker, who was running second at the time. Ryan Wilson finished 20th. Brian Snare, another one of the cars that was running up front. Joshua Caudell, Chris Berg, Doug Wysocki, David Roach, Chris Mefford, 26th. 27th was Ray Radford. Brandon Mefford, 28th. Cody Early battles to a 29th place finish. Jimmy Hetrick, 48. The 48 car was 30th, with Hunter Tate and Derek Robinson. Craig Lerman, Gary Ragland, 33 and 34th. Matt McMeekin, Bobby Camden, Scott LaCoy, and Rob Lydell. Then in 39th, we had Mitchell Snare, Damon Cox, and Todd Willis. And then in 42nd place, we had Chad Meadows. So a great race out here in the desert, John. Had a great crowd, great field of cars. Again, we apologize for some technical difficulties we got, but I'm telling you, between the Blackhawk Shake and Bake in-car camera, we're here tonight with our winners in the Century Victory Lane with Willis Landscaping, Cody Early's Pro Dirt Late Model Series, the Extreme eSpeed TV Network. I mean, man, what a night, what a show. I don't know. What do you got to add, John?
We're looking forward to Hotlanta next, the ATL, and your stomping grounds. So, each race seems to get better. Every time we get done, I keep thinking, wow, this is a great race. I don't know how these guys are going to top that, and yet they keep doing it. And Atlanta, that track itself, it lends to exciting racing, multi-groove, big runs. Yeah, I cannot wait to see what kind of show these guys put on there.
I tell you, after today watching the new track, I can't wait for them to get that in iRacing. That's going to be fun.
Yes.
Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for tonight. This is the LEC NextGen Racing Series. This is Andy Piercefield and John Hine with the Extreme eSpeed Racing Network. We thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next Sunday night from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Thank you.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme eSpeed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme eSpeed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme eSpeed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmission